looking back at a backstage promo in WWE after a match with the Usos, you dropped a little reference to your song Obsolete when talking about sanity. You'll fade away and classify yourselves as obsolete or something like that.
Yeah.
How did you kind of talk to WWE to kind of allow that?
I think I probably did clear it with whoever was in charge of the segment. It was something I'd been doing for a while, just in the Broken Universe. And the cool thing it shows, I would sing that. I said, "Oh, it was obsolete," and the crowd would go, "Obsolete." So people
Hmm.
would kind of got, hooked on doing that. So I kind of, with that, almost had me a little delete thing or yes thing or yeet thing with the obsolete. But I still feel like there's something much better that I'm going to come up with in the near future. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I asked for permission and they said, sure, that's fine. That's
Hmm.
your song.
Now, what do you think of Jey Uso being called the new Jeff Hardy in WWE?
Oh man, he is on the moon, man. He is killing it with
Mhm.
his the Yeet thing. We did a thing called Subway Mania a few weeks ago when we were in New York doing media for Slammiversary, July
Mhm.
20th, 2025, Long Island, New York. It's going to be amazing. But we did, the Subway Mania thing, and I'd never seen it on the internet or nothing, but it was cool, man. It was quite the experience. The guy we were with was dressed up as Jey Uso and doing the yeet and all that stuff, and the people on the subway were going crazy. So yeah, I love the Usos, man. One thing that I always wanted to do back when Matt and I both were still in WWE with the Usos was a cinematic match with them called the oh God, what would it be called? It's not the gosh, it's not the asylum. It's whatever, like a prison's called. Gosh, I can't even think of what he called it. It was. Do you know what you call it? Like prisons. I think Jay used to call it. They both used to say they were from that.
Penitentiary.
What? Yeah, what's it called?
The Uso Penitentiary is what they used to
Yes,
call it.
penitentiary. That's what I couldn't. Yeah, but have a cinematic penitentiary match with the Usos in like an old, broken down, abandoned prison. And I was,
Mhm.
man, I still think that would be amazing, man. Because a lot of paranormal, teams go to these places and do something. Yeah, but have a match with the Usos, and yeah, that would be amazing. So I still have that thought up here. I would like to bring to life as well. Penitentiary. That's it.
Mhm. I don't know if you make it back to WWE, could end up creating it.
That's what's cool about pro wrestling, man. It legit anything is possible.
Hmm. Now, what was it like going back to WWE with Matt at WrestleMania 33 in that ladder match for those Raw tag team titles?
Oh, that's my number one moment now, man. It's above all that. This there's some big ones, man, but it was just so welcoming, and it just felt so good because WWE does feel like home. It's where it all started and where it all needs to end. But just being back there, just when I wrote the song "Obsolete," it was like I was in this mindset of, man, I'll probably never end up going back to WWE. I probably burnt my bridge with them and I'll never go back. So it felt so good, kind of being back home and especially coming out to that reaction, man, in front of a sea of humanity was so
Hmm.
special. Um, so yeah, I feel like there's one, nothing may ever like top that or be up there with that. But as far as I'm concerned, man, that's my number one moment in my professional wrestling career of all time.
Hmm. Now, is kind of your in-ring character the same as who you are outside of it? Is,
Yeah, pretty much, man. I was just talking about this recently, man. And it goes along with like me coming up with my own like delete thing or yeet thing or yes thing.
Mhm.
And the suck it thing's another one I would add in there when I do a little thing in my music show when I go through them all. It's um,
Mhm.
pretty unique. But yeah, I still feel like there's something for me to discover. But yeah, and I think there, there's so much more for me to do, so much more for people to see that they've never seen from me,
Hmm.
character wise, or a shift in not only momentum but a shift in just behavior of Jeff Hardy backstage and Jeff Hardy in the ring. So I think there's a extremely epic transition that will happen before my wrestling career is over, and that's it's very exciting.
Definitely. Now, who is someone you would want to face in the future?
I kind of had a bucket list. I know MJF was in one of them from AEW. Definitely Roman Reigns is still. I used to say that a lot. He's just such
Mhm.
a superpower in the world of pro wrestling. But Roman Reigns, MJF, Orange Cassidy. I never got to work with him, and he's just such a different breed as well. So yeah, MJF, Orange Cassidy, Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes actually would be incredible because he's the biggest wrestler on planet Earth
Mhm.
as we speak. So yeah, I'll go with those four: Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, MJF, and Orange Cassidy.
No. I see in previous interview you did, you said you believe you could have been bigger than Cena back in 2008, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah, I see that when I think about my issues, and in my personal life with drugs and alcohol, naturally a lot of shame and guilt, come from all those times that
Mhm.
I came close to, ending my life and career. It just, naturally when I think about that, I'm going, oh my God, I was right there wrestling The Rock. And this was in whatever year it was, 2003, maybe, or somewhere around in there. But
Mhm.
just, I had the potential and the opportunity to be a huge pro wrestling star. But now that especially after saying in interviews, I mean, naturally that stuff can be hard to talk about.
Mhm.
But I think it's helped in the long run because I think it was just the journey I was meant to live, man. Because when you just think
Mhm.
about uh, people that I have helped that I'll never meet in my lifetime, it just because I know there's a lot, man, a lot of people that really care and love me for who I am and what I do and
Mhm.
respect all that stuff. So I think it's just the journey I was born to live, man. And it's nice to be on the other side of that darkness, because in 2022 I about ended it all, man. And my wife, Beth, and my daughters, Ruby and Nero, they are my world, man. And my first priority every day is to,
Oh.
is to not let Silver Nero fall on me.
Hey,
Yeah, the win. But
three
it,
years, 3 years sober, so.
yeah, that three and sobriety has been like my motocross track, for example, man. I would have never, if I had got sober again, I would have never finished that. I would never talk about finishing a waterfall and building a waterfall here on the Magi
Mhm.
Nation if I was still drinking and drugging. So I'm just so glad to be in love with life again. A lot of times I say I've relapsed in love with life again. I kind of like looking at things like that because it's so nice to be on the other side and just to overcome the guilt and the shame that goes along with that every day, thinking back to the past, and can get you right back in a dark place. And I've been real good about not doing that and just like
Mhm.
focusing on no predictions and no regrets, basically, and just live in the moment, in the here and now. The eternal now is so important to all of us. Just that we
Mhm.
have this moment right here, man. It's just such a blessing, and I'm so glad I was able to do this, man. Because I know we've been talking about it ever since I met you. So
Mhm.
super glad it finally worked out. But yeah, I think it's the journey I was just meant to live, man. And
Mhm.
my wife and daughters are my God, my world, my everything, man. They have helped me get through all these dark days, and we will prevail, as a family, and wake up every day and just one day at a time. I'll continue to do what I've been doing for the last 3 years and a few days, and I think that the sky's the limit for me in pro wrestling. I'm just so blessed. I've given so much to pro wrestling, but pro wrestling has given me so much. It's I owe my life to pro wrestling, and I'm so grateful that I fell in love with the craft. And a friend of mine recently, I said something about, yeah, I'm still in love with the craft of pro wrestling, and he said, I thought this was a very cool response. He said, yeah, you might love the craft again, but brother, you are the craft. I was like, whoa, that was cool, man. I'm going to keep that one.
Hmm. Because really, no matter what you do, you kind of craft around yourself and kind of whoever you're going on to face and crafting around that match.
Yeah, yeah, right. And as pro wrestlers, I think about this a lot now too. When I mentioned manifesting
Hmm.
and manifesting earlier, we pro wrestlers are so good at manifesting the near future, man. And so now I've incorporated that with my life outside of pro wrestling. And
Hmm.
sure enough, man, there's something to that. There's something to grounding too. Like I still don't really understand how you get the energy from the earth when people talk about grounding and walking barefoot and all that stuff. But I make it a point to do it, every day. And my connection with the force of nature and planet Earth is like that's it for me, man. It's so hard to like keep up with nature around here as far as keeping the grass mowed, all the weeds
Hmm.
full, all the drains working right for the heavy rains, all that stuff. It's a lot keeping up with nature because it's just Mother Nature. Father Scott does not stop. It's just ongoing, man. I did my first TikTok video. I do weed eating art. So I did this
Hmm.
piece that I've had for a year in our backyard. And I just time lapsed it and went out there to as the sun was coming up to make it appear like I might have been out there all night,
Hmm.
working on it. But I'm pretty sure I felt the grass like growing because it's just nonstop. It continuously grows throughout the
Hmm.
summer and it dies and it's resurrected every year. But I noticed that. Oh my God, I feel the grass growing. So yeah, I'm at one with Mother Earth and Father Sky and
Hmm.
the force of nature. Faith in the unknown. It's just I'm so grateful to be here on your podcast interview, and I appreciate you having me. And I'm so grateful for pro wrestling. I can't stress that enough.
It's definitely. Now I got to talking with Falco,
Oh,
and I
very
was how is it be able or how is it to be able to work with someone that shares that love of art and you guys be able to collaborate on different projects?
he's amazing, man. And it really like I when I try to draw realistically, like I just look at his work and I'm going, how does he do that?
Hmm.
And my oldest daughter's real good at it. How do you make those eyes with the shading with the nose into the cheeks? And like it just blows me away how talented he is. But it's so like fun to collaborate with him, and he just does a little something, and then I finish it. And we live beside this place called the Boys Camp in Cameron, North Carolina. We live on a road called Boys Camp Road, and it's like we're troubled youth, boys that are going through trouble in their younger years that they go to kind of rehabilitate. But they got two tobacco barns, like and kind of in front of where their property is. And I've talked to the guy from there, like if we could ever redo the tobacco barns to where I could paint them up, like I've done Matt and I grew up farming tobacco, so that's why I have two tobacco barns down in front of my house that
Hmm.
I painted all up. It's very bright and abstract Jeff Hardy stuff. But if I ever get to paint those barns at the boys' camp, man, I'm gonna fly Falco in to help me because I see it like so vividly. If they ever let me do it, it's like one big waterfall and one barn, just very realistic looking,
Hmm.
and bright and colorful. But then a big like campfire with maybe some images in the fire, like images of faces or whatever. But I'm definitely, if I ever get to do that, I'm gonna. So if Falco, if you hear this, man, I'm gonna bring you in one of these days to paint up some tobacco barns if I ever get it cleared.
But I told him that you were coming on here. He said once you get uploaded, shoot it to me, so he will be hearing what you said.
Oh, cool, great, man. Yeah, he's an incredible artist, man.
Hmm. He told me that you guys came up with your own little art tag team name, Bats.
Yeah, we did the Bass, man. I went through after Matt. Matt, he says we're the goats a lot, and naturally we hear we're the goats. A lot of people, the greatest of all time, you hear that a lot. So I just was
Hmm.
thinking about an interview one day at TNA. I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of hearing goats, man. What if we were like the Rams, the something acrobatic, magnificent souls, righteous, acrobatic, magnificent souls, and came up with a few more. I think there was cats and dogs that meant something, but yeah, like sending one of Falco's paintings back. I thought about that brotherly art forms transcending simulations and wrote that on the back of the painting, and it's cool. Like the last time we spoke, he had mentioned that. And so, yeah, brotherly art forms transcending simulations. That's kind of what we are.
I like seeing like obviously your artwork from what I've told you about your TNA, like canvas, chairs, ladders. Because like I said, I knew it was yours when I seen it, and then once I seen you uploaded it, I showed me my dad, and I show him like, oh, Jeff Hardy did this. I pulled up on my phone, showed all of them. He goes,
Oh, that's awesome.
oh, Jeff Hardy's work
Yeah,
because
time lapse of that whole canvas and some like weird spoken word thing was like the background music. But I wish I could see the video, and TNA might have it. But like whenever the moment they were bringing everything out there to set it up, I wish I could see that just as they were
I
loading
think I
things.
might have recorded a video of everyone walking out and stuff.
Oh, very. If you got anything, yeah, if y'all could send them to me, that'd be
Yeah, I'll
great.
shoot to my dad and send it to you.
Very cool, man. Yeah, that's got to be interesting. Like, well, what's going on here? What's Jeff Hardy's got something to do with it? That's very cool.
Because my one of my sisters and my mom are like really into art and stuff. I want to show
Yeah.
you this from when I first started watching wrestling. I got this for my birthday one year. Let me see. Hold up. I forget, or it's a little video, or not video, a picture from when he first won the U.S. title.
Oh wow, very cool.
Go on.
All right. I like the way you're pronouncing wrestling, man. I say that a lot, man. People people ask me if they got to send me something to sign or whatever. I just joke yeah, what's your address? I always write uh, famous pro wrestler.
Hmm.
And that's how I ended up put the address. But yeah, famous pro wrestler, WRASTER,
Hmm.
wrestler. I like how you've
Let me
been saying
spell it. WRASTLIN, wrestling.
wrestling. There you go. No G needed. Wrestling.
And then I have this from when we first met of you and
Oh,
Matt.
yeah, I love that.
Hmm.
That face paint was cool. Man, I feel like that needs to be on an action figure. That was a good one. It's the
Oh,
first time I ever painted eyes like looking to the right or the left. That's the first time I tried that, and it worked, and I was so pleased with how it turned out.
mhm. And I got this printed out from when you guys were on the ladder after you grabbed him down, just a little celebration.
Very cool, man. So y'all, how far are y'all from Detroit?
Um, like an hour and a half.
Okay. All right. What's
But
the name of the town you live in? Where y'all live?
we live in Ohio. I'll say like
Oh,
city and stuff. We're not recording because you never know who's.
oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry about that. You delete.
No, it's all good. But yeah, like my doctors, so I go up there pretty often because like my doctors and stuff are up there. That's where I had my surgery, and I go
Okay.
to a wrestling event or wrestling organization up there every so often.
Oh, very cool. Do you like commentate or do you?
Um, no, I don't really commentate, but I was asked to by like the owners and stuff.
Oh, I don't even know why I said that. I guess I haven't thought you look like you might be a commentator. Just loves pro
And
wrestling.
probably from my podcast and probably gave that to you.
It probably so. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
And I collect wrestling figures and like my very first ones was of you. It was one of you, like a chase with like red face paint, like red, black, white. It's
Oh,
summer.
very.
I didn't realize it was a chase until I went to look it up. I know,
Oh my.
so.
Oh, very cool, man. The newest one AEW has put out is beautiful. It's the way I
Oh,
look
that glow in the dark one. Oh yeah.
Darby Allin. Yeah, it's oh my God, and that little black light comes up. It's just so beautiful, man.
Mhm. Remember when they first kind of came up with like a video of it, I shared it because
Yeah.
man, it's awesome.
And that one of the Broken Hardys too is like the only brother Nero in existence, man. In
Hmm.
existence, Matt and I with those coats on. God, those are some cool figures.
How'd you get to being called Brother Nero as opposed to Jeff Hardy?
That was Matt. That was all Matt too. He just came up with his brother Nero thing, and
Hmm.
man, talk about catchy. It was just kind of meant to be, and it was perfect. When the moment I first became brother Nero, I still laugh at myself thinking back to it because the spot I did was super cool. It was I said something to Matt along the lines of "You can't hurt me. You can't. The only person that can hurt me is myself." And with the microphone in hand, I was on the top rope, and I jumped off and put myself through a table. I did like a swanton to a table and just
Hmm.
broke the table. And I had the mic still in my hand, and I was supposed to say, "I am the nefarious brother Nero." But I spaced out after I had the mic in my hand. I was like, and I was so proud that that went good. And I was like, what's that word I'm supposed to say? I could not think of nefarious to save my life, but I said, I am Brother Nero. That was the moment I officially became Brother Nero.
Hmm. From that point on, it came out ended up being pretty good. So I think it
Yeah,
wasn't shortly after you battled Decay in some sort of match for the tag titles. You brought
yes,
out
yeah,
Willow, you brought out another alter ego in Itchweed, three
yes.
E's.
The lead or decay, yeah, and you're thank you for remembering the three E's, man. That was it. I put a pumpkin on Rosemary's head, I think.
Hmm.
Now I like you, girl. You look good now, girl.
Lift her up.
Yeah. Oh man. One of the during the delete or decay cinematic match we did out here, I mean, this is a moment that's up there for me too. Just about the way I love music. Like I'm obsessed with it. And same thing, same way with I can imagine life without dogs, man. But life without music would be so way too silent. But anyway, like Billy Corgan was working with TNA during that, and he
Hmm.
was in my backyard. I had dug out a trench with my charismatic Enigma symbol, and we lit it on fire that night. Got a nice drone shot of it. But yeah, Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins was in my
Hmm.
backyard, man, like helping direct this match. And again, that was just so super surreal. And that Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins is in my backyard. And I'm setting my symbol on fire to get this shot. And after it was successful, we all clapped and applauded. So it was just, you know,
Hmm.
again, so grateful.
Most definitely. Now, what match would you point someone to that you think they should honestly check out of yours? It could be one for a singles match for Jeff, and it could be a tag team match for the Hardy Boys, or it could be one for both that you really enjoyed.
Um, like people that don't have any idea about like who I am or who we are that don't know much about wrestling, I highly recommend the first ever tag team ladder match with Edge and Christian because that was the match that put us on a rocket, man.
Hmm.
Through the atmosphere, it was so different, maybe ahead of its time or maybe at the perfect time. But that was just all we had knew. Like leading up to that match was uh, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon had this pretty incredible ladder match,
Oh
and
yeah.
Matt and I watching that thing at home, we just watched that over and over again in all the spots, and we would do identical like matches to that match on the indies, man, and do all those spots and then some of our own. We just kind of, for me anyway, that's when I saw that match between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, I said, "This is ladders are going to be my thing, and they're going to be a big part of my career." Like I knew it. And then after that, the first tag team ladder match, man, that was the first moment, like during the process of a match,
Hmm.
just the way things kind of just flowed. like and continue to grow. And it just that's when I realized, oh man, there's something to this. This is gonna have a lot to do with our success in pro wrestling, and moving forward, that's what kind of became the TLC match.
It's definitely. And that's an iconic match that I believe you guys made famous, like you said, with the Edge and Christian and Dudley's.
Yeah, thank
Another big spot in your career was with you and Edge hanging from the belts, spear.
yeah, that'll live forever, man. Legit, like live forever. That immortalized, and me with that bright red, hair, and just
Hmm.
such a video game looking moment, like
Hmm.
these three human beings just pull this off. And so yeah, so every time I see that thing, it'll never get old to me. Also, the just when me and Devon for the longest time, I was like, man, I wondered if two humans could hang up there possibly and do something. So that's a big one for me too. Is when me and Devon were left up there hanging, and like when I was able to kick him down, I was just spinning, and just that alone, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing for pro wrestling.
Now, what advice would you give to someone that's either just starting in the business or that's been in the business but really wants to kind of grow and make it far?
I would definitely say just authenticity is a must, and especially if you're kind of afraid of being who you are, just kind of delete that fear, man. If you feel it, with your passion and your in yourself, your soul, and your system, like that's who you are and that's what you do. I mean, man, just roll with it, man. And because so much has been done in pro wrestling, so much has been war. So many moves have been the human body has been in so many different situations with submissions and all that. Like so much has been done, but that's what's so fun about the craft of pro wrestling is finding something new or modifying something new that makes it just a little different. But yeah, that's my man. Just be authentic, and originality is so important here in 2025.
Most definitely. Now, going back to the Hardy compound and whatnot, how do you guys kind of come up with that name, Hardy Compound?
I think again that was all Matt. I think he kind of had this all figured out in his mind whenever he, said I was going to do a big move to him and he was going to die a blonde streak and just be different. He had it all figured out what
Hmm.
broken Matt Hardy was going to be. So yeah, and then that was he came up with that whole the Hardy compound and whatever the Lake of Reincarnation, that was him. Skarsgård, the boat he would talk to, that was all him. The drone, I think, was all him. Not version one, Vanguard one. His drone, like, was perfect for like a cartoon. A man that has a pet drone, uh, and all that stuff with him and his family too. He's all kind of just had that figured out, up here, and again, and just brought it to life in this thing called the Broken Universe.
No, I seen in when you obviously or put out your first video on TikTok, you have it all over your bios. I do not have a Facebook. Do you, does it kind of get not necessarily annoying, but do you think it kind of gets old after a while to keep having to mention it?
It does, and I think I just kind of I don't stress about it at all. But even back when I think MySpace was the first thing before Facebook kind of like took over, and
Hmm.
even from back then, I was going, "Oh my God!" There was all these, I guess, fake Jeff Hardys, and I was like, "I do
No.
not have Facebook. I'm tired of people acting like they're talking to me on Facebook." But I want to say my last time in WWE, they might have like made a Jeff Hardy Facebook or something just because it's social media is like a part of everyday life and promotion and stuff for individuals. But yeah, I've never like ran my own Facebook or had my own
Hmm.
Facebook. It's just like there's evidently some guy in Egypt that runs this fake Jeff Hardy Facebook, and there's like 2 million followers on it or something. It's just still blows my mind. I just spread my word out and about when people bring
Hmm.
it up. I say, I don't have Facebook. I've never had Facebooks, and so I guess moving forward in the TikTok dimension, I might kind of it might be annoying to a certain extent, but I might fit that in at the end of every little video I put out. And by the way, I don't have Facebook.
Mhm.
just kind of remind people that I do not communicate or do the Facebook thing.
Now, is there a spot in your career that you think didn't look like it hurt to those watching, but deep down inside, once you actually did it, oh, this hurts.
Yeah, I was working with Rob Van Dam, and this was something I had to get cleared. I wanted to go through the table like vertical instead of horizontal, the way people normally get through tables, and I just
Hmm.
wanted to do it because I'd never seen that, like somebody get through it vertical like that, and it was from like a 12-foot ladder, so it was pretty high ladder, and it was a swanton to Rob Van Dam. But Rob Van Dam moved, and that table just exploded, and it just, I don't know, my breathing was off, but it knocked the wind out of me so bad, and it just, oh my god, it hurt so bad. But yeah, going through, I remember like having to ask Ben. I think I had to explain why I wanted to go through it like that, and I said just just to be different, to see how it is. Total Jeff Hardy stuff. And that reminds me too of we had a TLC match and a Full Metal Mayhem match in TNA, and I think the Dudley's winner, maybe just Bubba. But I went through a table that was upside down. It was on like the guardrail and the ring apron, and it was upside down. The legs were up, and I just wanted to go through it just to say I went through an upside down table. It was completely upside down. I just jumped through the framing of it, and sure enough, it was just like that thing with RVD, the
Hmm.
vertical table. When I hit that floor, I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again.
Never again.
It was more like that. Yeah.
Is there a fan kind of interaction you had at any meet and greets, whether it be at like Comic Cons, TNA, etc., that kind of last or left an impact on you and your life?
Yeah, I've had a lot of moments like with people that are kind of struggling with drugs and alcohol addiction that have
Hmm.
said some super kind and like emotional words to me, whether it's me helping them or them helping me. But there was this recently we were in oh god, where were we? Phoenix, Arizona, doing TNA tapings,
Hmm.
and it was so hot in Phoenix, and there was a guy out there that was painted up. Man, he was it's like lunchtime when Matt and I got to the building, and he was all painted up. And just like I always do when I have time, I was like, hey, I'll come back out, man. I'll come back out. We got to go in here for a meeting, and I'll come back out.
Hmm.
And after went to the meeting and ate something, maybe I went back out there in that crazy hot weather, and he was still out there just sweating, and he was just so thankful for me and my career and like how I've inspired him along the years. And he had a visor, like an old Hardy visor, like one of those things with not a top in the cap. And I used to back in the day, I used to try to like I would have my hair braided or something and try to get through a match with the braids sticking through the hat.
Hmm.
And so I would try to get through the match with the hat not falling off. And I don't think I ever successfully made it all the way through a match, but I would try. But he gave me one of those old hats, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't had these because in 2008, me and my wife, our modular home, our little double wide home, burnt down, and so a lot of my WWE stuff from years ago all kind of burned down in that. But he gave me that hat, and man, it just meant so much. So me being me, I went back out there and just for what he shared about how I've influenced him since he was a child through wrestling. I took him a painting. I do these little 12 by 12 paintings now
Hmm.
of like my autograph with a bunch of faces and stuff. But I had been painting that morning and I finished one. And I took it out there and gave it to him. But he was just out there in that heat, man, all day, just waiting for me to come back out there and just say hello and take a picture. So I'm just again so grateful for people that are willing to go through that, just because they know I'm in their area and just would like to say hello.
Most definitely. There's so many people out there that you may not even know you are an inspiration to, whether it be fellow wrestlers, either on the indies, TNA, or just people in general, their everyday lives. Kind of seeing your rise, downfall, rise, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, I've got the support system is just incredible. And naturally, with the way social media is these days, you can, especially with me and my music, you can. I got to a point where I would look through the comments. I used to never look at comments, and the majority, there's a lot of nice ones and kind ones.
Hmm.
But then naturally, as you know, you can see some pretty hateful ones.
Oh, hmm.
Just the way words can affect you, man, like your heart and your brain, and kind of. And I, for a while there, with my singing, man, I got to this point. I guess I was kind of living in a world of like Instagram judging my world and the way I should be. And I just let it affect me like, oh my
Hmm.
God, maybe I should stop singing. I might need to sing because I suck at singing. Maybe I should stop. It was crazy, but I got in a little like groove of that for a while.
Hmm.
And so now I try to like remember the things and find the humor in, everything. And one of my favorite ones that when I was reading the comments that were negative was, please stop singing now. You make Jericho look like a good singer. So, so I tell that joke and people, laugh at it. But yeah, some of them, man, it was I was letting it affect me pretty bad. But now I'm totally back to no. If it the main thing is it makes me happy and I enjoy it, especially if my wife and daughters like it. I mean, that's all that really matters to me.
Hmm. Now going back to another interview you did, you said you want to retire CM Punk. I feel like that would be quite the thing to do, considering, like you said, your guys' history back in like 08, 09, and your little thing over the world title.
Yeah, for sure. And naturally, I mean, I hear that all the time about and '09 when we had the match and I had to retire the cage match. So
Oh,
naturally, I hear that all the time. So I was in a real uncomfortable situation at this show. I think it was at the House of Glory show, and naturally, like these days, there's always these social media teams, getting
mhm.
content. And there was no big bathroom for me to comfortably have a big mirror to paint my face. So I had to take my little round mirror, which is about that big, and I was standing up and I put it on some little thing and I was just sitting there and there was probably 25, 30 people like just watching me behind me. It was so uncomfortable. And I ended up, after I finally finished half of my face, that's when I did that interview. And I just said it like spare of the moment. Like it just kind of came out about going back and making CM Punk retire but by 2030 or something. So naturally, I just said it jokingly.
Mhm.
Uh, but then even like on another interview, not, when you think about pro wrestling and anything's possible, it would be, I mean, crazy cool. I think to like reignite that feud again, especially where I'm at in life,
Mhm.
and just watching him. Naturally, I think about that a lot. I even thought about that before I went to AEW when he was there. I was like, man, just the moment of us facing off or having some kind of moment would be like super natural looking, man. It's like, oh my God, these guys had such a good feud back in the day and they're still active and they're still, facing off. So yeah, just the possibility of that
Mhm.
is again crazy exciting and I hope something like that, plays out before it's all over.
Mhm. You always say in the world of wrestling, you can never say never.
You can never say never, man, and anything's possible.
And for those that don't watch NXT and only watch main roster stuff, may not even seen you returned or even seen this kind of new and improved Jeff Hardy, considering you're in your 40s and you're still doing this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
sure there's
it's
some people your age that's like, oh, look at, there's no way I can do that.
yeah, yeah, it's nuts. Maybe when I think about that, I'll be 48 on August the 31st. And I'm strange when it comes to, it's with things like this, but my mom was 48 when she passed away. She had a brain tumor and cancer. And so I think I just turned 10 when she passed away. And naturally, now that I'm about to turn 48, I think about her leaving Earth way too soon.
Mhm.
And okay, God, I'm here. Matt's already halfway to 100, so he's got his own problems. But anyway, I'm going to the beach with my family for this year's birthday, and I'll spend some quiet time out there on the ocean, man, and be
Mhm.
talking to my mom out there and letting her know that uh, I've made it to 48. And so yeah, that'll be special to me,
Mhm.
man, to be out there with again with nature and just our loved ones that have moved on. Even my dad, he died April 6, 2021 on my wife's birthday, and I was with him to the very end, man. And he was
Mhm.
our hero. He raised us as a single parent and got us to the point to where we were able to succeed in pro wrestling, something he had no idea about as far as possibilities of livelihood and professions. But yeah, man, it's so cool the thought of just them, my human creators being together again in the spirit realm and knowing that they did exactly what they were supposed to do by reproducing and leaving Matt and I here long after they're gone. So yeah, that's the one thing that makes me think of the one thing that when I say anything's possible in pro wrestling, anything's possible except being able to teleport. I think's the word, like from the top of the ramp to the ring without cutting the lights off. You can figure
Mhm.
that out. Now that's going to be a game changer, man. If you can figure that out without cutting the lights off, but I don't think that's possible.
Mhm. What would be your dream retirement match if you could book your own retirement match? Who would it be against? Would it be singles, tag team?
Oh gosh, I know. I think me and Matt answered this question a bunch, like quite a few times. So we had naturally said Edge and Christian. But yeah, as far as my solo dimension, gosh, I don't know. I might have to say that Roman Reigns match would be pretty epic, man,
Mm,
for a last match.
mm,
Yeah, I'll go with Roman Reigns, man. Is he just kind of like all those years he was a champion? It was just it took it to such a different level, man,
mm,
and that's so exciting. Which keeping the craft of pro wrestling alive and well, and just seeing what WWE is now and how big it is, it's just insane, man. The SummerSlam this year is going to be 2 days.
oh,
It's
mm,
growing so much, and again, I'm so grateful for pro wrestling.
definitely. A lot to be grateful for.
Yeah, man.
Hey, just imagine it. The charismatic enigma, one only tribal chief going at it.
Yes, sir.
Just letting the fans hear no more words one more time as well.
Oh, yes. That's
Mhm.
man. What a great song.
Man, going back to your time in AEW, you faced off against the former Dean Ambrose, now John Moxley, one-on-one. If I'm not mistaken, that's like the first time on a big stage.
Think so. Yeah, I think you're right, man.
What was that kind of like facing him?
Yeah, but I think Matt and I think we had one tag team match with him and Seth Rollins
Mhm.
when we
Oh,
were both still in WWE. So that was the only time we'd been in contact in a wrestling ring. But yeah, I've always, man, a long time ago, me and him did Jericho's podcast, and naturally, he's a unique individual as well as myself. But it was
oh,
interesting, man. And I've had a lot of good conversations with him, man. Whether it be on international tours or any show when you're working that WWE schedule and you're gone so much. A lot of good personal conversations with him, and now that he's a father as well, it's so cool to see, man. And I was watching the night he did that thing with it's not Janice, but the thing like Abyss used to have with the nails, and that thing stuck in his back. Oh my God, I totally feel his the adrenaline as to like when I saw that thing, him stand up and that thing not come out of his back. I was going, oh my God.
oh, mm,
It got me like kind of gave me
mhm,
goosebumps in a good way. I was like, man, just so much respect for him
mhm.
committing and pulling something like that off.
An Edge in a match with Christian actually for the TNT title brought something out kind of like Abyss, but he called it Spike.
That's what it was. Yeah, Spike. That's what I was thinking about.
once you kind of go off and retire from active in-ring competition, do you think you're going to call it done for good, or do you see yourself entering another role, such as like a trainer, manager, mentor?
I don't know. I can't really see that. Like when I think about my future, I can't really see me doing something like that unless it was something kind of, creatively or behind the scene, maybe along the
Mhm.
lines of like a writer or, I mean, that's completely possible, but I hope and pray that like things work out, with music. Me and my buddy from Cincinnati, Ohio, Junior. We are the founders of this band called Peroxwhygen,
Mhm.
and that's like it's kind of comes from pure oxygen, but the word Y is kind of like just with the letter Y and the word oxygen. So anyway, just it ended up being like Peroxwhygen, and there's a good chance, man, that next year, 2026, this is going to be in what month? In November of 2026. But Peroxwhygen is going to be on the Jericho cruise. So that's looking good, because that's like a rock and wrestling thing. So
Mhm.
we are very excited. We've already got a pretty much a set list, and so yeah, we're going to rehearse like several times, and that's super exciting to think about. Us being on the Jericho cruise, man, that's going to be a big moment for us as a full band.
Mhm. If TNA told you that you could bring back any one of your previous theme songs for one night only, which one would you choose? Whether it's Modest, Obsolete?
I'd definitely have to go with Modest Man, but dude, I think it was 6 years in a. I'm super proud of it. And me and Dale Oliver from Nashville, Tennessee, he was the music guy for TNA during these years. But it was like 5 or 6 years. We had a new song every year at Bound for Glory, and I'm so proud of that. And they let me do it, and I was very open minded from their perspective as well. But yeah, there's another one, a great one I think called Resurrected. There's even one called what's it called? Reptilian, I think. It was kind of Matt's first song, but then I wrote some lyrics to it. But
Hmm.
all of those entrance themes that I had, man, they could be sung so much better now, man. But yeah, if I had to choose one, it would be Modest. We do a real cool acoustic version of Another Me. I think it's real cool
Hmm.
at our music show now, and I'm really digging the way it's sounding. But I would have to choose Modest.
For sure. Modest, Obsolete, and what's it? Similar Creatures are up
A
there for
Creature
me.
one, yeah. There was Time and Fate.
Hmm.
Placate was a good one. It was
Okay.
a full Russian song. So yeah, I think it was 6 years in a row. That was super. I don't think that's ever been done before. And maybe there's a reason for that, but I'm proud
Hmm.
to say I did it.
I can imagine you one night going out just doing a little R-Truth, walking out to the ring, singing your theme song.
Yes, for sure. I got it's like a backup vocal for like in between when you hear modest to the top.
Mhm.
Time is coming, modest at the
At the
top.
top.
Failures change my modest at the top. Dun, 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 dun. Still modest, past the top forever and then some. Straight to the top and then keep heading up. So something like that. There's a
Hmm.
backup line to that modest part. So yeah, very exciting to pull a R truth.
Now go into your, I'm gonna see if you can, I'm gonna say the line because it's one that I think a lot of people in the world can kind of relate with.
Okay.
At least I know I can. I'm gonna see if you can remember what song it came from.
All right.
Kind of quiz you on your own.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Heavenly, for my health and history. If there comes a time in which I die before I wake, I know my soul you will take care of to guide through and meet you.
Yeah. Another me. Yes.
Hmm.
That's really fast. And it's my breathing stuff. Doing that acoustically, though. But yeah, it's from Another Me.
Hmm. I feel like everyone can relate with that, whether they're going through stuff that you went through or even just stuff within their normal life. Because not every day is guaranteed.
Amen, brother. Yes. Amen.
Mm. So with that being said, that's all I got for you. Thank you for your time.
Oh, cool, Maverick, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
How
Before you,
long, this will be out there in the universe before Slammiversary, right?
oh yeah.
Slamversary July 20. When do you think it'll be posted?
If I get around to, I was thinking either shoot it or upload it once I edit later on tonight or even tomorrow. Once
Okay.
I get uploaded, I can shoot it over to my dad because I don't have any way. But I see all your stuff all the time. But I can
Gotcha.
shoot it
Cool.
over to my dad to send to you.
Yeah, for sure, man. And also, before I forget, if you have any of that stuff you filmed before that Bound for Glory match, like if your dad could like send me videos of it or whatever, that'd be
Hmm.
cool to see if he's got any of, or if you got any of those.
Oh yeah, I've
It has
got quite a bit.
the
I can
tables out and stuff. Okay, cool,
shoot
man.
over to
That's
send to you.
okay, cool, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. Have a good rest of the day if you
You
can.
too. Before you hop off, I wanna
Yeah, sure.